Austin before.
Welcome, everyone. The hour being 7 p.m. on Wednesday, January 17th, 2024. The Tooele City Council is meeting in a business meeting being held at Tooele City Hall in the council chambers located at 90 North Main Street. We are also streaming this on the Tooele City YouTube channel. Our first item is the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'll please rise and repeat after me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll have a roll call. Councilwoman Manzione.
Present.
Councilwoman Goches.
Present.
Councilman Hanson.
Present.
Councilman McCall.
Present.
I'm Councilman Brady. I'm also present. Our third item is the Mayor's Community Recognition Awards. We will turn the time over to Mayor Nguyen.
Thank you so much, Chairman and Council. And for those of you that are in the audience tonight that maybe have not been here to a City Council meeting for a little while, for many, many years we recognized and honored youth in our community for the wonderful things that they do of helping out individuals, mostly in their schools and in their neighborhoods and their families. And it came to my attention that we have a lot of good things happening in our community, and they are being accomplished by wonderful volunteers and people in our community who do great things. So we started a short time ago of once a month honoring anyone in the community. No age limits here, but honoring people who have done really good things. And tonight, I would like to give out the Mayor's Community Recognition Award to Rebecca Ford. Rebecca, would you come and join me up here, please?
My mom told me she was taking me to dinner, so I didn't know we were even, this is all so, wow, okay.
Rebecca, I'm going to make you a little uncomfortable maybe to stand here, and I want to read something. Rebecca was nominated by Darlene, is it Coster? Mm-hmm. Coster, she works with you.
Yes, she does.
Yes, she does. And this is what Darlene told us. Rebecca has made a big impact in the Tooele community by changing many young lives. Rebecca works as a severe special education teacher at Tooele High School. She does an excellent job in that capacity and really helps to make a difference for people with disabilities in our community. She was named the Teacher of the Year for the entire state of Utah last year. Now, that is big. That is big.
That's kind of you.
For the past 13 years, Rebecca has conducted the Mr. and Miss Super Amazing pageant at Tooele High School. This pageant showcases students with disabilities from 3 high schools in the district. The pageant has been recognized by many groups, including the governor's office. In fact, Governor Cox attended the pageant last year.
He was a great judge.
Yes, he was. Rebecca has grown her peer tutor program from 8 students in the beginning to now having well over 100 students participate as peer tutors. Her influence is widespread. Many of her former peer tutors are either currently teaching special education or they are in programs to become special education teachers. Rebecca is awesome at providing an inclusive environment for people around her, where everyone is treated equal, has purpose and value. Rebecca just wants to make a difference in people's lives.
Gosh, that makes me emotional.
And you know what?
Thank you, Mayor.
She not only wants to do this, she is doing it. She is making a difference in thousands of people's lives. And when we say special education students, they're special. And not everybody has the ability to be able to have the patience and the kindness, the respect to work with these individuals. And it takes a special person to do it. And this is who you are, and the best part is you're sharing that and teaching that to the tutors
Thank you.
that are in the program that now want to do what she does because of what she does. So we recognize her and we honor her, and congratulations, Rebecca.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
This is so kind. This is just so kind of you
Over
all.
here, we're going to take a picture.
Oh, I would love
with the
to.
council behind
It's
us.
just so kind. Thank you, everyone.
And
Thank you for
we-
being here. This is just so exciting. Oh, my goodness. This is my favorite award. Just saying, I've ever won. This is it.
You got us all?
How's that?
Get over here, Melody.
Is that better? Thank you so much. So good to see you, too. Thank you. I sure appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well deserved, Rebecca. We appreciate all you do in our community.
Definitely.
We'll move on to item 4, which is the public comment period. This is the time for the public to come and address the council. We ask that you state your name into the microphone. You keep your comments to 3 minutes or less, and then you sign the paper over here. The time is now the public's. Okay, seeing no one come forward, I will close the public comment period, and we'll move on to item 5, which is ordinance 2024-02, an ordinance of the Tooele City Council amending Tooele City Code Section 4-8-2 regarding dead-end streets and cul-de-sacs, presented by Paul Hansen, the city engineer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This item was discussed in our work session at 5:30 this evening, but I'd like to do just a brief summary again for those that may be joining us tonight. Tooele City is always looking to amend our code and bring it current and consistent as we advance and move forward. This change is one which brings our ordinance regarding cul-de-sacs in compliance with the International Fire Code. By policy, we've been applying many of these principles, but we felt it important to codify it to help us as we move forward in it. It's entitled Chapter 8, Road and Bridge Standard Construction Standards. And what this code does is it states that any dead-end street longer than 150 feet in length or more than one residential lot in length would require a cul-de-sac. That cul-de-sac meeting fire code requirements if it's temporary, and if it's permanent, that it meets city standards of a radius of 60-foot diameter. We already by ordinance require that those cul-de-sacs be paved, so this addresses the length. And again, is intended solely for the purpose of being in compliance with fire code. As I mentioned, however, in 530, it also benefits our Public Works Department and many other services. If we have more than one home, we have garbage trucks that need to access it. And we're concerned about garbage trucks backing up on streets and through intersections. It also helps our snowplows to have a way to turn around and get access in and out, and that's even more important in the wintertime as we face that situation right now. So the ordinance, the revised ordinance I handed out before you, it has a slight modification in it from what was in the packet. Again, and that correction tonight clarifies the radius on a permanent cul-de-sac as 60 feet, not 50 feet. 60 feet allows for the fire code requirements plus park strip and sidewalk. So we present that tonight for your action. Any questions?
Any questions or comments? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve ordinance 2024-02, an ordinance of the Tooele City Council amending the Tooele City Code Section 4-8-2 regarding dead-end streets and cul-de-sacs.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilman Hansen, a second from Councilman McCall. We'll take it to a vote. Councilman McCall?
Aye.
Councilman Hansen?
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches?
Aye.
Councilwoman Manzione?
Aye.
I'm Councilman Brady. I also vote aye.
Mr. Chairman, just for correction, does that include the revisions we handed out right before the council with the 60-foot?
Yes.
Okay,
Clarify.
thank you.
Yes.
All right, that passes 5-0. Item 6 is Resolution 2024-05, a resolution of the Tooele City Council amending the Tooele City fee schedule to include increased water meter costs, presented by Jamie Grand Prix, the Public Works Director.
Good evening, council.
I have before you this evening a resolution to update our water meter costs. We've been behind a little bit, as you can tell in the resolution, on our meter costs. Meter costs have been going up over the last few months faster than we've been able to keep up on it on a resolution. And as you can tell, we're quite behind. And so we bring a resolution before you to get those costs updated. Our current cost, as you can see, at least with a 3/4 inch meter at $306.67. The new cost of being $402. I have rounded those out to where they're just an even dollar. And we put a little bit of admin cost in that as well to help kind of fluctuate as the prices go up and down, and also to help maintain our guys going out and putting those meters in, and the finance department for trying to collect those costs. It is just a 2% cost at the current cost of the meters that we're getting them for right now. So it is a small increase for the meter. And so that's kind of what I've kind of set as the upgrade cost or the admin cost. And so that's kind of what I have set up for the resolution for tonight. If you have any questions, I can answer those. I didn't go through all the meter costs, as you can see, all of those different costs. It gets more depressing as we go up the scale there, but.
Any questions or comments?
Is 2% kind of standard, or?
In my experience, it's more like 5 to 10. But that's back to when meters used to cost us around $100. You know, they went up quite a bit in the last few years, and so they're a little bit more expensive to make, I assume. And so I kind of kept it reasonable at 2%. I think we probably could have went a little bit more. I mean, on a 3/4 inch meter, that's probably, you know what?
$8.
$8. Yeah, for admin, which is still kind of cheap for that kind of cost. It probably takes just that much for the finance department, just to make that charge for the building permit to cover that cost. And that charge gets done at CD first, you know, because they're the ones putting that charge on the building permit, and then finance collects it. But I was just a little nervous on how far we go with that cost.
It just makes me a little nervous, because if it really costs, I mean, it's a cost we're passing on to somebody who's installing, who's getting the meter, but it makes me nervous to have something that costs us money. You know, if a developer or a person or whoever is building a home or a business, and that is the cost of doing business, like, I don't want us to lose money because somebody is building something, I guess.
Yeah, and that's when we collect that cost, is with the building permit, you know, when initially. After that, then pretty much we own that meter and take care of it after the fact. But we do collect that cost initially with the building permit. And so you do have quite a bit of admin costs, because you have CD trying to put at least the cost on the building permit, and then it goes to finance for them to collect the cost and install the meter. So I've set it at 2%, but we can always adjust that if need be.
Well, if you feel comfortable with 2%, I don't want it to be costing, I mean, I don't want to make everything expensive. Everything is already expensive, but.
Yeah, and I think the next time we
also
buy
don't-
meters, they'll probably be, that 2% might be gone in the meter cost, the way they've been going, so.
So was we charging a fee before?
What was that?
Was we
Sorry.
charging a fee like that before with the old cost of the meters, or no?
Yeah,
Admin fee?
well, this is my first time bringing the fees to you as a public works director, so I'm not sure what's been done in the past.
Yes, we're charging those fees. That's just the updated costs with the price increases.
But
So was it 2% before?
have you been charging an admin fee before?
Oh, no.
No. We just
So-
absorbing that into the cost of the building permits part of it then? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I added the admin fee on this one just to help with rising costs, and just at least try to collect some for the administration of that fee. And that's kind of why I set it at 2%, because with not having charged that in the past, I didn't know how far to take it. In my previous employment with other jurisdictions, yeah, it's 5 to 10% was common. But I didn't know if we wanted to jump that high at this point in time.
Well, I'm good with leaving it, and then we just consider that next time you raise them, because it's not gonna go down.
Yeah, it's not gonna go
It
down.
goes down.
I'm sure you want to wait.
Okay, any other questions or comments?
Or we can just doing it, I don't know.
I'm leaning with Marissa.
Pull your mic down, so.
Mike.
Pull your mic down, so.
Oh, sorry. I was talking to Ed, my bad. But I kind of agree with her. If we're trying to reap some of the cost, maybe we might consider maybe just doubling his 2% to 4%. And I mean, because in the long run, chances are you're going to bring this back to us again in the future, probably in the next year or so, with the way that everything is going up. And at that point in time, we may have to do 8 or 9, or you know what I mean, or more. Instead of trying to catch it up, we might as well just put it in right now.
Yeah, we've went probably quite a few meters at $100 loss on 3/4, just on the 3/4 side of things, just because we've been charging the 306, where we should be collecting more like 400 to cover that cost.
Okay. Do we want to vote on how it is now, or does someone want to, we could go to 4%? Any strong feelings one way or the other?
Well, I mean,
How soon do you think you'll come back with a new resolution? Best guesstimate.
Shannon, how, cost-wise, you've been kind of getting the meters lately. Has that been pretty consistent? Have they been going up quite a bit over the last few months?
I mean, you never know what the cost right now. He's
Yeah.
watching them very closely. We know we've been processing this one for a bit, so 8 to 12 months.
I'm okay to just vote on how it is. I mean, this is what Jamie
Back.
suggested, so.
Yeah, me
And then
too.
if it has to come back, I think it's fine to bring it back as well, so 8 to
Maybe
12 months
just-
is fine with me.
Maybe some feedback of the next time I bring it back, what kind of admin costs do you think
Yeah.
I should bring it back with? You know,
That'd be
it might
good.
be a good idea, just so that I
That
have
would
an
be a good
idea.
Yeah.
You know, what to put on there, as I was just kind of guessing at the 2%, just to take it easy at the first go-around. But if you're thinking more of 5% or 8% or something like that, then the next time I bring it to you, I can make sure that cost is on there.
Yeah, I would just say make sure that's what it costs. Yeah, if it's a 2% fee to install it and do it, then that's great. If it's more than that, then we should look at that.
I agree.
The other thing too is just keeping a little bit of percentage in there, is that way I'm not having to bring it back to you all the time. It kind of gives a little bit of fluctuation for me to kind of bear that cost if need be before we bring it back.
Okay.
yeah, and just so you know, I'm not a money hound. It was just that, like he was saying, we've been losing $100, roughly $100 every time we do that. That was why I threw that out there, because I don't feel we should be losing money.
I agree.
Good luck with that.
I know. I totally
The
know.
government doesn't make a profit.
Yep.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
I make a motion that we approve Resolution 2024-05, a resolution of Tooele City Council amending Tooele city fee schedule to include increase in water meter cost.
A second.
We have a motion from Councilman McCall, a second from Councilwoman Manzio, and we'll take it to a vote. Councilwoman Manzio.
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches.
Aye.
Councilman Hanson.
Aye.
Councilman McCall.
Aye.
And Councilman Brady. I also vote aye. That passes 5-0.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Jamie. Item 7 is Resolution 2024-06, a resolution of the Tooele City Council amending the Tooele City fee schedule regarding garbage containers, presented by Shannon Wimmer, the Finance Director.
Thank you, Council. As we discussed in the work meeting, this is a resolution to add to our fee schedule the cost of a garbage container for when new garbage containers are delivered or when they need to be replaced if they've been lost or stolen. So this is for both regular garbage service and recycling cans, to add those to the fee schedule.
Okay. I think I had maybe asked in staff meeting if a lid or something breaks, that can be repaired.
We can
It's more
repair
the
lids, we
container
can
that-
repair wheels. So this would be, sometimes if residents, they continually, we ask the residents never to put their cans up against the curb, because if they do, a lot of times that'll keep coming down on the curb. So eventually, that may cause the back of the can to split open and the garbage is falling out, then it has to be replaced. Or sometimes if they put hot ashes or something that doesn't belong in the can, it might melt it. Or if it gets lost in a windstorm and we can't find it, things like that. But generally, it's something that the homeowner does that breaks the can typically.
Lost in the windstorm means your
It's at
neighbor
my house.
kept it, yeah.
It's at my house. Everything in the whole town.
down here.
comes to
Your
my
neighbor got a
house.
free garbage
And
can.
we do spend a lot of time helping residents try to find them. We have
I'm
the
not
can
joking.
numbers, so we do everything we can to find those cans, but, yeah.
Any other questions or comments? We discussed this in our work meeting, so. Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve Resolution 2024-06, a resolution of the Tooele City Council amending the Tooele City fee schedule regarding garbage containers.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Manzio and a second from Councilman McCall. We'll take it to a vote. Councilman McCall?
Aye.
Councilman Hanson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches?
Aye.
Councilwoman Manzione?
Aye.
And Councilman Brady, I also vote aye. That passes 5-0. Item 8 is Resolution 2024-07, a resolution of the Tooele City Council approving a real estate purchase contract for land with She Enterprises LLC, presented by Mayor Debbie Nguyen.
Thank you, Chairman. As you are well aware, for the past several years, especially when we were constructing the police station, there was just never enough parking here at City Hall, not only for employee parking and for the patrons that were coming here to City Hall, but also for the city vehicles that are used by those who work here at City Hall. So we began renting a piece of property just north of the fire station, and the owner of that property changed hands, and so we had to find a different place to park. So we have been renting another piece of property directly behind City Hall for the past several years to keep our city vehicles and, again, have enough room for better service here at the City Hall. So recently, we were able to get some help from a real estate agent to help to secure now the purchase of the parking lot area that we originally used when the police station was being built. It is the gravel parking lot just north of the existing fire station. We have already really improved that lot somewhat and leveled it off and put gravel and some road base and some things in there. And we will be also installing a couple more cameras on that side of the building so that it will be under surveillance. But it will be able to free up now the rental fees that we've been paying on the other property and secure this so it will really better serve the public by having a place to park out here. And if you're here on Wednesday mornings, you'll know why we need more parking. We have really expanded the use of City Hall. There are a lot of different groups, community groups that use City Hall, and we're glad to see that. But we do need to supply the parking for them. So this is to secure that property for $200,000, and that amount, we have more than that in the budget, in the capital funds to pay for that. We have been leaving that money in there for this purpose, so.
Hey, any questions or comments?
This is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2024-07, a resolution of the Tooele City Council approving a real estate purchase contract for land with She Enterprises LLC.
I'll second it.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Goches and a second from Councilman Hanson. We'll take it to a vote. Councilwoman Manzione?
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches?
Aye.
Councilman Hanson?
Aye.
Councilman McCall?
Aye.
I'm Councilman Brady. I also vote aye. Thank you, Mayor.
So much.
That passes 5-0. Item 9 is a public hearing and motion on ordinance 2023-39, An ordinance of Tooele City approving a landmark site designation process for the preservation of significant historic properties, presented by Jared Stewart, the Economic Development Director.
Good evening, council. Thank you. This is one that I think we brought to a work meeting months and months back. And then we took that to Planning Commission and we made some modifications, and now we're back here, and we have a positive recommendation from Planning Commission on this item. And kind of just to give some context on this, this creates a process by which, as a city, we can say these particular properties are important enough to us that we want to make sure they are preserved and not modified extensively to preserve the culture and heritage and historic properties of these particular structures. There's some criteria to that, and we did some research in other communities across the state as to what that criteria might look like, and we kind of modified that for ourselves and came up with this. And in the designation process, a property owner would have to either initiate this, or the Planning Commission or Historic Preservation Commission could initiate it with the property owner's approval as well. And there's 3 criteria that are listed that are required, and then you have to have one of the other 4. The 3 required criteria is that a property or building is located within Tooele City, is 75 years old, and it has no major alterations from its historic or of its historic features, I guess. So those 3 have to be true, and then one of the following: either it's listed on the National Register of Historic Places, it's associated with significant events, or it has particular characteristics that are rare or unique, or has particular history, like archaeology even. So the purpose of this really is to preserve very unique structures, right? Not every property that's 75 years old will be a historic landmark or will have interest in that, but properties such as the Ritz or the historic Pioneer City Hall, those types of properties could be landmarks. With the goal of preserving those, making sure that if they change hands or ownership, that those buildings are preserved over time. The changes that came from Planning Commission, originally we had 50 years listed as the criteria. Now it's showing 75. The Planning Commission thought 75 would be more appropriate. The only other change was that we initially had a recommendation from our Historic Landmark Preservation Commission to just allow the Planning Commission to designate those without property owner approval necessarily. The Planning Commission was more comfortable if the property owners agreed and had either made the application or had signed something that said, yes, that we approve and support this. So those were the 2 changes from Planning Commission to now. And I think that's everything I really have on it. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions or comments? Okay, this has a public hearing with it, so we will open the time up to the public. We ask that you state your name into the mic, keep your comments to 3 minutes or less, and then sign the paper over by Michelle. The time is now the public's. Seeing no one come forward, I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion we approve ordinance 2023-39, an ordinance of Tooele City approving a landmark site designation process for the preservation of significant historic properties.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilman Hanson, a second from Councilman McCall. We'll take it to a vote. Councilwoman Manzione?
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches?
Aye.
Councilman Hanson?
Aye.
Councilman McCall?
Aye.
And Councilman Brady, I also vote aye. That passes 5-0. Thanks, Jared. Item 10 is subdivision plat amendment request by Richmond American Homes to amend lots 237, 238, and 239 of the Drummore at Overlake Phase 2 subdivision plat at 12 East Broxburn Way and 1532 North Bain Way in the R17 zoning district, presented by Andrew Agard, the Community Development Director.
Thank you, Chairman Brady, members of the City Council. This may be the last subdivision plat you get to approve as a body. We don't have any plats coming before you, so luckily this is an easy one. And it's for the Drumore at Overlake subdivision Phase 2, and it affects these 3 lots that are highlighted in red on the aerial photograph. You'll note that the properties are located just north of the new city water reservoir and the Barrow Well. Properties are currently zoned R17, as are all of the surrounding properties. This is the existing subdivision plat, and you see that lots 239, 238, and 237 are divided by lines that are perpendicular to each other, a very uniform design. Sometimes in the construction of a home, errors are made, and in this case, the home on lot 237 the foundation was poured too close to the property line. And rather than have them remove the foundation and re-pour it, we directed Richmond Homes to do basically a lot line adjustment. But because this is a subdivision plat, we have to amend the plat. So what they are proposing is, you'll note that on lot 238 and 237, the property line is somewhat skewed to the west. And what this does is this enables the house with the foundation that is currently existing to now be conforming to our setback requirements instead of non-conforming. The change in the lot line boundary does not create any non-conformities. All lots still meet the 7,000 square foot lot size requirement, and the home on 238 will have plenty of room to meet the rear yard setback. So we're proposing this plat amendment just to make sure we can keep our foundations in compliance with the setback requirements. January 10th, the Planning Commission voted 7-0 to recommend approval of this plat amendment. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you.
Any questions or comments? Was it just the developer that poured the foundation incorrectly?
I guess they surveyed it incorrectly and they poured it, and by the time it was done, the inspectors discovered it was too close to the property line. So,
Big whoopsie, huh?
yep. Luckily, it's fixable. We were able to resolve it. So.
Yeah, pretty simply.
I've got a comment, Mr. Chair. Could you go back to the map that shows that? So does the foundation impact being able to see around the corner? They're both corner lots when you're driving.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
I will entertain a motion.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the subdivision plat amendment request by Richmond American Homes to amend lots 237, 238, and 239 of the Drumore at Overlake Phase 2 subdivision plat at 12 East Broxburn Way and 1532 North Bain Way in the R17 zoning district.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Manzione, a second from Councilwoman Goches. We'll take it to a vote. Councilman McCall?
Aye.
Councilman Hanson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches?
Aye.
Councilwoman Manzione?
Aye.
And Councilman Brady, I vote aye. That passes 5-0. Item 11 is invoices and purchase orders. We don't have any tonight. Item 12 is our minutes from the January 3rd, 2024 work meeting and the January 3rd, 2024 business meeting. Any changes to the minutes? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion we approve the minutes for them 2 meetings on January 3rd.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We'll take it to a vote. Councilwoman Manzione?
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches?
Aye.
Councilman Hanson?
Aye.
Councilman McCall?
Aye.
I'm Councilman Brady. I also vote aye. Passes 5-0. And item 13 is to adjourn at 7:33 p.m.